Fast Forward Productions. The women are speaking.
Hi guys, welcome back to the Unfiltered Entrepreneur. I'm your host, Ashley Pollard, and today we're diving into the Q2 trend report. Now, you might be thinking, it's May. It is Q2. Where was this trend report at the beginning of the quarter? Well, the answer for that is I actually give this to the Doers Library and the Doers Club before the quarter starts, and then I share it with you publicly. I gotta leave some things for the girlies. Do you know what I mean? I can't give everything away. I try to, but I want to make sure I keep some things for the doers. So make sure to join the Doers Library if you want access to that portal, or the club if you want access to the community, because this is one of the perks of being inside, is that you get the trend report before the season. Now, in the Q1 trend report, which by the way, I was on par, we said that the trends were anti-merch, that merch was going to be a really big thing in 2024. We are already seeing that off to the races. So many different brands are relying on merch, but not in the traditional logo sense, but in a way where it is fun and exciting merchandise. The second one was the resurgence of passive products, which has become the word of the year for 2024. The course resurgence, the download resurgence, the low price especially. We've seen a major shift there. And then finally, I said the death of celebrity obsession. We're seeing a lot more influencers, reality stars, and even just everyday people going viral on TikTok and Instagram, where we're not necessarily looking for people to be so different from us. We're looking for everyday people to give us our advice, our trends, our inspiration, etc., etc. Go download the Q1 trend report inside of the Doers portal if you're interested. You can even join the free trial to go check it out there. But now I want to talk about today what is included in our Q2 trend report. The first trend that we are seeing massively this year that we do not think is going away is going to be brand building as the top of funnel. Now, I don't really think that the old way of Instagram and the old way of brand building is necessarily working anymore. It used to be very easy. Get people's attention, show them how you solve the problem, convert them. And that has worked literally since the 80s. But then Gen Z happens and everything flips on its head. Thank you, Gen Z. We needed that shift. We needed something fresh. But the interesting thing about brand building now is that it's not necessarily about how can a marketing team build a brand? It's really about connection. It's about flair. It's about personality. And the number one way that I know this to be true is because your girl did it. When I relaunched the brand, I said for the first 2 months, we are only focusing on brand building. And we did not sell a thing. We had no sales push. That doesn't mean we made money. We did, but we did not focus on sales. We focused on fun. We had personality infused everywhere. We had a jolly good time. It was fun. Everybody was feeling the energy. Everybody was feeling that hype. And that got people to say, okay, how do I pay you? Where do I go? I have to digest everything, which was the goal. Now, if you are one of those people who followed me in January and February this year, I don't want you to think it was manipulative, because all it really is that for me to stay relevant in this business, I don't think it's as easy anymore as 5 ways to uplevel your business, 3 ways to scale. It's just not working the same anymore. People buy from people, and now more than ever, my engagement went through the roof. I had raving fans. What I want you to think about is that it's not necessarily I have to pitch, I have to post, I have to this, I have to that. I want you to think about more, how are you seeing the human behind the screen watching you? And how are you solving a problem for them in a way that feels very helpful? Maybe that means that someone DMs you and says, oh, I would love to work with you, which I don't offer my services anymore. And I said, hey, I have time tomorrow. Do you want to hop on a call? You could pay X amount of dollars and we could chat. And she was like, yeah, actually, that would be great. And so we worked that way. That is even brand building. I don't have it on a webpage. I don't have a Dubsado workflow. She didn't need a Dubsado workflow. Do you know what she needed? She needed somebody that she trusted to show her what's possible. Also, in a time where the economy is not so hot, you know what I mean? In a time when business is hard, to be an account that is having fun, that is injecting flair, that's injecting personality, that isn't so serious, is going to be the one that gains the attention, because it feels like something fresh and new that they're not necessarily seeing. So this is your permission to show up as yourself in your marketing. This is your permission to post a reel where there is no point, where you have spaghetti sauce on your shirt, where you are just making freaking pasta and talking about something that you learned that day. It doesn't necessarily have to be so buttoned up anymore. And to me, it's liberating. So think about that as the top of your funnel, is like connecting on a brand front instead of a freebie or a sales. Just have a good time and know how that leads. The second one, I mean, I could shout this from a freaking mountaintop, but networking is king. Now more than ever. A lot of people are having really hard Q1s this year. And you know what? I feel so bad, I have to say, because I told everybody I have the recipe for the perfect year. And in it, Q1 is going to make the majority of your sales. And we didn't have a Q1. Our peers didn't have a great Q1. A lot of people in the doers didn't have a great Q1. And it is what it is. You keep it moving. But there is something to be said about the fact that I had those peers to tap into to say, hey, is anyone else having this issue? Is anyone else dealing with this? Is it slow for anyone else? And for them to say yes, and here's some creative ideas of what we're doing. Or I could say, hey guys, this worked. For instance, we started pitching a certain client in a certain way, and I tapped into my group chat and I was like, guys, you gotta get on this. Like, go, go, go. And so that I could share that with someone and they can share with me what's working there as well. I see this all the time in the Doers Club. People just today, like 30 minutes ago, as I'm recording this, someone posted, I made this really incredible template. All of you guys can take it, brand it for your own businesses. It's a really great template and I recommend that you use it. And it's like things like that. We're like having a group of people that are sharing resources, sharing learnings. Is anyone else experiencing this? Is this something that you're dealing with? That is so massively impactful if you're having a low quarter, if you're having a tough year, which by the way, election years, always a little rough. It's par for the course. But the other thing to think about with networking is how can you get involved locally or even just in person generally? Is there a local entrepreneurship group that you can participate in? Can you build the local networking or the local entrepreneurship group? Can you spearhead that? Is that something you're interested in? But on a micro level, like meet people in person. See if there's anybody in your space where you could go to coffee with, or you could go to dinner with, or you could get 3 people to meet for brunch and you could talk about, your business or even just your life and not talk about business, because that sounds great too. It's one of the biggest reasons that we're focusing on the retreat and that being such a massive part of our business. Not only do we have something up our sleeves for the end of next year, and if you join one of the retreats, you're definitely going to have like early access to that. But the retreat is honestly for 2 reasons. One, I want you to have a space where you can disconnect and learn who you are as a business owner. To me, it's the best thing I've done for myself. And we have orchestrated that in such a beautiful way where now we've run multiple retreats. They've all gone over so well. And so we want these intimate small rooms where you get to know other business owners in such a deep capacity and understand the importance of seeing how similar everybody is in entrepreneurship. But also it's really nice because if you have to have a vulnerable moment, you've already met those people, you can share, you have friends, you have peers, you have a trusted group and network that you can tap into. Whether that's the Doers Club or not, you never have to pay me $1 for me to support your business, but the Doers Club is a really great place for that. There's other communities as well. Threads, which is what we're going to get into next, is also a great place to kind of connect with other people, but I'd love for you to do it in person. I'd love for you to meet other people. It's why we are bringing people together ourselves. And if you're not able to make one, maybe you can make the next one. Now, I already told you what the next one is. It's Threads. Guys, I'm living, breathing, loving Threads lately. Now, here's the thing. I have ignored Threads, okay? I was one of those people on it at the beginning where I was like, this is a goddamn blast. I'm having so much fun. And then after a week, I was like, I'm over it. I'm over it. I'm over it. And then someone shared a thread to their story and I thought, are people still on Threads? Lo and behold, your girl gets back on Threads and so many people making connections. Oh, can I hire? It almost felt like a Facebook group. Can I hire you for this? Who's hiring for that? Oh my gosh, I just learned this thing. There is a wrong way to do it. I definitely think that Threads is not the place to be selling. I think it's a place for the constant stream of consciousness, to just share, this is what I'm thinking and this is what I'm doing and this is what is going on, And it's become my new TikTok. I hate to say it, like it's actually kind of funny. I'm scrolling on Threads so much because I love what people are sharing and I'm getting to know them in a deeper way. It's almost like I don't really give a shit about your planned content. Like I want to see what you're up to in this moment. And that's what makes it super fun. So definitely go on to Threads, follow me there, tell me that you came from the podcast and I'll say hi because I'm having way too much fun on Threads. Highly recommend you check it out. Now, there are some learnings that I want to share with you that are inside of this trend report. One of which I'm going to keep inside the trend report. And it's a bit about how I had to fire some people this quarter. I'm going to leave that one for the trend report. Go check it out there. But there's 2 other things that I want to talk about that are learnings. And in every single trend report, I put in what are some things that I did wrong? What are some things that I wish I had done better? Or what are some things that I learned along the way that I'd like to share with you guys? And one of the biggest ones, and this is so hypocritical of me, like you guys are going to be like, really, bitch, you of all people. But if you're watching this on YouTube, it has to do with this guy. Me time. And I completely avoided that routine for about 6 months. The business I built around morning routines for mental health, I completely avoided. I wasn't writing in my journal. I wasn't pulling my affirmation cards. I wasn't doing my morning routine. And the quality of my mental health plummeted. I mean, just straight down to the bottom. It was unbelievable. I did that really human thing where I said, oh, I'm feeling fine. I don't need that morning routine anymore. And then I didn't do the morning routine. And it's like, hey, you dumbass, I wonder why you were feeling fine. Maybe, just maybe, it was the morning routine. And lo and behold, it was, because the second that I started getting back into it, I got my groove, I got creative, I got inspired. I felt like I was ready to take on the world. I felt level-headed. And it feels so silly. I know that it feels so silly to say that because you're like, a morning routine, like really? You just like wrote down some nice things about yourself. But the way that our Me Time journal is structured is one that really made me feel great. Now, keep in mind, we're not selling it right now. We're taking a break with Me Time because we are doing a massive rebuild on the back end. But the biggest thing that I like about that Me Time journal is one, it has a space for me to just get all my thoughts out. The second thing, I'm forced to write an affirmation. The third thing, I write my word of the days, my word of the year, so that every single day of that year, I am forced to see that word and how am I going to use it that day. And then finally, I like that I write, what are the three things? Only three. What are the only three things I have to get done today? For me right now, podcasting. I also have an enormous amount of laundry to do. And I also have to go grocery shopping. Outside of that, anything else can be moved, changed, whatever. It could also be client calls. It could be fixing something on your website. But when I see my entire task list and I'm like, oh my God, I got to do all of this today, not all great for the mentee. Do you know what I mean? Like we got to make sure that the mental comes first. So what are the three biggest priorities that you have to focus on? And I completely neglected that routine. And shockingly enough, my mental health suffered. So having a routine in your life and in your business, I highly recommend that you make sure that you keep to that because for me, game changer. The second thing that I'll share about a learning is that we are building something that actually for the first time scares me. In building this whole business, I've never felt genuinely scared. I felt nervous. I felt, oh, I wonder what's going to happen. I would equate all of it to nervousness and maybe anxiety, but I've never really been scared. Like, I don't know what's going to happen. Like this could ruin my life. Even saying that out loud, I have like chills up and down my back. But I, for the first time, have so much fear around, am I moving in the right direction? Am I doing the right thing? Is this really something I can do? Is this really something I'm capable of? And why would that be a win, Ashley? Like you're saying you're scared for the first time. You're telling me that that's a win. Absolutely. And I'm going to tell you why is because with that fear, I could choose to sit with it or I could choose to ask for help. And I'm so glad that I have the tools and the experience and the habit of asking for help. So I went to people that I trusted and I said, I have this idea. Can you poke holes in it? And they were like, yeah, I think you're going to have this problem, and this problem. I went to someone else. Yeah, I think you're going to have this problem, this problem, this problem. I go to someone else. Have you thought about this? Or have you thought about the fact that this could happen? And that might sound negative. I went to all these people and asked for negative feedback, but in actuality, it made me less scared. Okay, it's almost like thinking there's a lion in front of me and all of these people turned the light on and it's just a little kitty cat. So now I like know the problem I'm up against. Instead of having the fear of like, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if I'm ready for that. But I'm like, oh, a kitty cat? I can handle that. I got that. Even if it was a lion, I could find a lion tamer. I could find an expert to help me like wrangle the lion, whatever this whole like analogy is going off the reins. But my point here is that sounds negative. It sounds negative to say, can you give me negative feedback for this? But honestly, it gave me so much confidence. And it gave me confidence because I feel like now I'm able to head into this knowing what problems are coming my way. And I hope if I've done my job, I have a plan for them. And so this is the kind of stuff that I like to share in these trend reports. If you want the Q3 trend report, you're going to have to get that in the library or in the club. We are publishing the next Q3 report in a couple weeks. So you will have that in the beginning of June. And that will set you up for July, August, September to get you through the summer and to kind of know what you should be focusing on and what we're noticing is working in the space, what's not working in the space. And then, of course, we'll record the podcast for the middle of July. And then again, so on and so forth, you'll get the next one in September. So I love these trend reports. They're not necessarily like annual trend reports. We do those as well. And we do those for the podcast. But it's more so like, what have we noticed every single quarter and how can we share that with you? We've been doing this for the past 3 years. So this is a structure that we really like. And hopefully you can come back to this and see these trends come to light a little bit. That's all from me today. I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope that you got some learnings that you can apply in your business. And I'll catch you next time on The Unfiltered Entrepreneur. Before we go, I'm inviting you on my mission to help female entrepreneurs, okay? I am a girl's girl, and I want to see every single one of you empowered, living your biggest and boldest life. And the easiest way for people to access free information and a community of like-minded women is by sharing this podcast. Leave a review on Apple, rate us on Spotify, but more than anything, if you liked this episode, please take a screenshot, share it to Instagram, and tag us so we know that you are loving the content, but also other people can see that you are an entrepreneur who is focused on her game. Now remember, the motto of the Team AP space is, it's not hard, it's new. And if nobody has told you this, I want you to remember, you've got this. Entrepreneurship is hard. I love you, I believe in you, and I am so grateful to be in service of you, whether free or paid. And until next time, stay focused, babes.